There will come a day when the wind stops whispering, when the sun rises for the final time over a world that no longer listens. No trumpets, no thunder, just a stillness that feels too deep to name. Humanity will stand on the edge of its own creation, looking back at all it built, all it broke, all it forgot to love. For thousands of years, the idea of the end times has haunted our dreams. It has filled the pages of holy books, inspired art, and carved itself into our fears. But what if the true end times are not the destruction of the world, but the awakening of the soul? What if the real apocalypse happens quietly, the moment a person sees who they truly are? We imagine the end as fire and collapse, but the greatest fires are the ones that burn inside the heart. They are the flames of regret, the heat of pride, the smouldering of every kindness we never gave. The ancients spoke of wars and plagues, of stars falling from the sky, of nations devouring one another. And perhaps they were right, but maybe those images were never meant to describe the sky. Maybe they describe us. When truth no longer matters, when compassion becomes weakness, when faith is replaced by fear, the world begins to end, piece by piece. And no empire, no technology, no progress can save it. Because what dies first is not the body of humanity, but its spirit. The end times are not born in heaven, they rise from within. We used to look for signs in the clouds. Now the signs are written in our streets, in our families, in our own reflection. We have become hurried, divided, afraid. We have learned to shout louder, but not to listen better. We have conquered nature, yet lost touch with what is natural. We call it progress, but progress without purpose is only motion toward the abyss. And still, within the noise, a quiet question remains. When the final hour comes, where will your soul go? Will it rise toward the light or fall into the fire that never dies? Heaven and fire are not places waiting beyond the stars. They are choices unfolding in every moment of life. When you forgive, you open a door to heaven. When you hate, you lock yourself inside the fire. Heaven is peace made visible. Fire is love forgotten. Every human being carries both within them. Every sunrise gives us a chance to decide which one we will feed. Imagine an old woman sitting by her window. Her hands tremble as she turns the pages of an old Bible, the corners worn smooth by decades of searching. Outside, the wind moves through autumn leaves, and for the first time in years, she feels both fragile and eternal. She whispers a prayer, not for tomorrow, but for forgiveness for yesterday. In that moment, her end times begin, not as punishment, but as peace. Because the end is not destruction, it is revelation. It is the unveiling of what has always been there, the soul standing before itself, seeing clearly what it has become. For some, that vision will be light, a lifetime of quiet love returning as warmth. For others, it will be fire. The realization that all they worshipped was dust. The fire is not God's cruelty. It is truth refusing to be denied. It burns away every illusion, every mask, every lie we told ourselves. It leaves only what is real. And for some, reality is too bright to bear. But even in the flames, mercy lives, because the same fire that consumes also purifies. A heart that suffers learns humility. A soul that falls learns how to rise. There is no eternal punishment for those who seek light. There is only the long journey of learning how to love again. Perhaps that is heaven's greatest secret, that even those lost in the fire still belong to the light. If you have lived long enough, you've already felt the world ending in small ways. The day your parents' voices faded from the world. The day the house fell silent after your children grew. The day you looked in the mirror and saw the years written in your face. Each ending is a rehearsal, a reminder that life was never meant to last forever in flesh. It was meant to awaken the spirit. The end times are not a punishment waiting in the sky. They are a mirror held to every soul. They ask one simple question: did you live with love? Not, were you perfect? Not, did you win? But did you love even when it costs you something. Because love is the only thing the fire cannot burn. When you stand before eternity, you will not bring your titles, your wealth, or your fears. You will bring only the light you carried within, and that light will recognize its home. If you have ever held the hand of a dying friend, you know that at the edge of death, fear disappears. What remains is clarity, a strange calm, as if the soul has been waiting for this moment all along. The eyes soften, the breath fades, and then something invisible lifts. That is the return. That is the beginning after the end. We are not bodies searching for souls. We are souls learning how to be human. And this life, this fragile, temporary, astonishing life, is the school where we learn the language of heaven. Heaven speaks through mercy, through laughter, through tears that soften pride. Hell speaks through resentment, through envy, through the endless hunger to be right. Every day you choose your teacher. Every day you walk either toward light or shadow. The end times simply reveal which road you've been walking all along. Some say the world will end in fire, others say in ice, but maybe it ends in forgetfulness, when humanity forgets that it was ever divine. And maybe it begins again the moment one person remembers. Even now, you can choose to remember. Remember that every act of kindness is a candle against the dark. Remember that forgiveness is stronger than justice. Remember that love, even unreturned, changes everything it touches. We are living through endings of forests, of seasons, of ways of life, but endings are not enemies. They are invitations. The seed must die to become a tree. The star must collapse to give birth to light. So too must we surrender if we ever wish to rise. When you lose someone you love, you learn this truth, that death is not a wall, but a door. It opens not outward, but inward, toward the eternal part of you that has always been waiting. The end times then are not a countdown of destruction, but the slow unfolding of awakening. The light is not coming to punish, but to reveal. The question is not whether the light will come, but whether we will be ready to see it. Ask yourself, have I made peace with my past? Have I loved enough to leave without regret? Have I forgiven those who could never apologize? If you can answer yes to even one of these, then heaven already lives inside you. And if you cannot, then it is not too late. The door is still open. It always is. You do not have to wait for the final trumpet. You can begin again now. You can kneel beside the ruins of your mistakes and plant something living there. You can turn your face toward the light and know that you are seen, known, and loved still. For the eternal does not count your failures. It counts your returns. So perhaps, in the end, there are no two destinations, no heaven above and fire below. Perhaps there is only one journey, from ignorance to understanding, from fear to love, from separation to unity. The fire burns, yes, but beyond it, the dawn waits. And when the last breath leaves your body, you will realize the truth that all prophets knew, that the end was never meant to destroy, but to reveal what cannot die. You will stand in light so pure it makes memory sing. Every face you ever loved will be there, not as ghosts, but as music. And in that moment, you will know that love was heaven all along. The end times are not coming. They are already here. They arrive every time a person opens their heart, every time an act of mercy defies despair. And if you listen closely, you can hear the voice of eternity whispering through the noise. Do not be afraid. The end is only the beginning.
everything hidden is revealed foully, not to shame, but to heal.
I never knew. I knew you. I waited.
Heaven is the final harmony of all things that chose love.
If you read this after I'm gone, know that I went in peace.
We wasted time.
But not eternity.
The end times were never about destroying people, but about separating what is real from what is false.
I wanted you all.
While breath remains, choose light. While time remains, forgive.